We will recap everything that happened in episode 8 of Valorant today. Be sure to subscribe and like the video so you don't miss out on everything we know about episode 9 so far. That video is right around the corner. Also, I want to note that the title of this episode is Defiance. Right off the bat, episode 8 goes against the trend of each Valorant episode ending in ION. Examples of being defiant isn't anything new with the protocol. However, we do have a lot more examples of agents and organizations being defiant in this episode more than others, where these individuals and groups buck the trend and resist something or someone, like ISO in the Reckoning cinematic, Omen going on his solo dolo Batman adventure, Clove telling Def no multiple times, or the protocol itself when it comes to their engagements with the Scions of Hourglass. Let me know down below all the examples of being defiant that you can find throughout this video. In this video, we'll go over voicemails, player cards, and other sources of lore given to us, one of which was the cinematic trailer. I already broke it down, so feel free to check it out once you have some time. But TDLW, ISO has officially put in his pink slip towards his former employer, which we know the name of now, according to the devs.
With this hourglass symbol. Their name is the Scions of Hourglass.
And it turns out his boss was Handsome Silco. Yes, the same Silco from Arcane. I guess Riot has an archetype for bad guys. A number of weapon skins are canon to Valorant now, as well as the Outlaw making an appearance too. The Scions of Hourglass knew about Radiantite before Kingdom made it public to the world, which also lets us know Viper's experiments had something to do with Kingdom discovering this mysterious substance, as well as the fact that Omega agents had a run-in with the Scions of Hourglass too. Omen's past got revealed as an assassin hired to take down Viper. However, because of Viper's quick thinking and toxins, she was able to trap him and make him undergo a drastic change to the agent that we know as Omen today. These are the main takeaways from the trailer. But I also mentioned some other Easter eggs and silly things in this video's breakdown, so feel free to check it out once you have some time. Nonetheless, this trailer kind of put down those Omen and ISO connections. The idea that Omen was once ISO, or that these agents were split from one another, is put to rest. It was a fun theory, but even I knew it was a long shot. However, I feel really bad for those who will ride and die, for the Omen is a squid/octopus theory. I always thought I was good at jumping to conclusions, but it seems there's always people out there who can do something better than you. But hey, if that's how you guys get your exercise, keep jumping to conclusions. Those comments always brought a smile to my face whenever I read them. But this brings us back to the current timeline, where the aftermath of the raid has settled, and it is our job to pick up the pieces. Like how Harbor confirms the building Omen and his crew went to is now empty, as well as the artifacts that we saw in the trailer are no longer present. We know that these artifacts are most likely transferred to their base on Abyss. And poor Brim, he has to be on the front lines of all of this, including a very angry voicemail from Omen.
She knew who I was this whole time. She knew so much more than me. Why didn't she tell me? Why couldn't she help? Does she think that I'm some kind of monster? I will speak with her soon, but now I need more time. Brimstone, just know this. I am not my past.
And first off, I just want to say what a wonderful delivery by Omen's voice actor. He really captures the anger perfectly, and to a quite frightening degree. Honestly, you can't blame Omen either. He must be going through a roller coaster of emotions. He went from being someone who knew nothing about his past to finally regaining his memories as an assassin tasked with ending Viper's life. When he says,
Does she think that I'm some kind of monster?
We get a slight insight to Omen. He's aware of his appearance and how others see him.
That was incredible, Reyna. And they call me the monster. Sabine, look at the monsters we've become. At least you have flesh to hide your horror. You've brought your monster for monstrous work. Fitting.
I'm sure one of the driving forces for him getting his memory back was to prove that he was once human, that he had a life, that he wasn't truly a freak. However, now that he knows his past life was one that was also stained with blood, who knows if he's truly happy with these answers. We also know through ISO's voice lines that working for the Scions of Hourglass was not easy for his mental.
What I used to do, my work with the organization, my hands were stained from the violence. It kept me awake at night. But Valorant is different. So I wonder, is this what it means to fight for something good?
We can only imagine the increased pain that Omen may be facing as he gains more of his memories back. It really put that ominous dossier by Fade full circle when she said, "You are a monster now. Perhaps you were always a monster before. If you succeed in finding your answers, I hope you don't regret it." Dang, Fade, you really saw this coming, huh? Viper has some words for Brim too.
Liam, we need to talk. When Omen didn't know about his past, he was contained, a known entity. We kept him in the dark to protect both him and us. I had to lie to him. He tried to kill me. Now he's starting to piece things together, and I can't anticipate his actions now. Will he retaliate? Maybe leave the protocol? There are too many variables out of my control. Keep an eye on him.
Again, this gives us more insight to Viper. And for those who don't know, Viper is someone who likes to be in control of everything and trusts herself the most. Omen is now an unknown variable who she is worried about for a number of reasons. The side that she also has lets us know that she doesn't have a disdain for current Omen. She probably doesn't even think of the assassin who tried to attack her as the same person who she now calls friends on the battlefield.
Keep being their nightmare, old friend.
I think it's easy to say that Omen is not the same person who once tried to unalive Viper. He definitely won't be joining the Scions of Hourglass either, after what he did to the boss. However, you know this will sour their relationship for a while. We will get more lore dumps in the future about their relationship. The devs kinda already teased beef in one of the newest player cards added to the Battle Pass, and it's quite similar to the one that Deadlock and Gecko had when there was obvious friction between the two. But it seems Viper's suspicion of Omen leaving the protocol came true. In Omen's voice line and in this email, he confirms it. Or as he would put it,
Brimstone, for years the search to understand my own past drove me. I thought I could find peace by knowing who I am, who I was, but no. The truth has only led to more questions, more frustration. I lack focus. I lack clarity. I am no longer an asset to the protocol. I am going to leave for some time. I intend to recover, and I intend to return. I will find my own path along the way. Do not follow me.
and according to this admin email, he meant business and seriously doesn't want anyone following him. But of course, that wouldn't stop Cypher. It's kind of his job to spy on people whether they like it or not.
Brimstone, I found him. Omen is in Edinburgh. Seems he was after a journal of some kind, one that belonged to our dear friends at Hourglass. I have confirmation that there was a disturbance near the library, but we know who won. Wait, hold on. Omen's checking in now. He's met someone he says you'll want to meet. I did always want to go to Scotland.
Fade also gives us hints at Agent 25, aka Clove's abilities.
Brimstone, the nightmare brings more visions. I see someone I've never seen before. Bright lights starting around a dim room, silenced gunfire, and hundreds of butterflies. This person, they're in danger. But the danger means nothing to them. Still, I worry. Cypher mentioned Edinburgh, no? I anticipate a connection. We should hurry.
There are multiple times where we see these butterflies either with metal or with pick-me-up. It makes sense to use butterflies too, since they represent rebirth and transformation, things that Clove specializes well with. I also want to mention Fade's voicemail to Brim. She doesn't say nightmares with an S, she says the nightmare. Maybe Agent 25 has something to do with this doomsday vision she told Brim way back.
Brimstone, the nightmare came to me with a vision. Different from the rest. I saw the walls holding our world together fall apart. I felt the wind go still. I could smell the bitterness of blood and bile. I heard small, uncertain voices crying out, and I could taste the fear. There was so much of it, like the whole planet had fever. So I climbed. I climbed this tall cliff. It was jagged as bone, stretching up, dizzying. But with broken fingers, I reached the top and saw the end of our time. A silent window stretching over the ocean, filled with dead faces. And then I woke up. Brimstone, I have seen many things in my line of work, but we must not let this come to pass.
But getting back to Omen leaving the protocol, which might have been the right call to make, because apparently ISO noticed something was off from Omen's and Viper's relationship.
Brimstone. Hello, sir. I've noticed something different between Omen and Viper. There's an animosity that wasn't there before. Has something changed? I'm uncertain. But I wanted you to know, maybe there's something you can do.
If the newest member of the protocol at this time can sense something is wrong between the two, then I'm sure others did as well. Chamber also sent an email talking about the Outlaw. As a weapons designer himself, who once worked for Kingdom, he likes the over-under layout, which is just his way of saying the gun barrels are stacked vertically up and down rather than horizontally side to side. We also know it was this company, Bulwark, that had a hand in making this weapon instead of the Scions of Hourglass. They may sound familiar because there is a player card titled Bulwark Armory with a picture of the judge. So for the many players who have been terrorized by it and the Outlaw, you can blame this company for that. Around this time, Jet, Phoenix, and ISO visited China to celebrate their New Year's over there. It coincides with the Zero Fang collection that celebrates their spring festival, which marks the end of the coldest days and welcomes new beginning for the year. I also want to mention some of the Battle Pass items that we saw in Episode 8, Act 1. Not every item is connected to Valorant's lore, but some will give us insight into Valorant's story, as well as the agent's dynamics. In the Battle Pass, we see a sticker titled Just Another Wave, which I'm guessing is supposed to be a play on words with Just Another Phase, but since Harbor's in the picture, they have to include a water reference in there. It looks like Phoenix and Jet are in the background fighting each other while Harbor is in the front. We know that Jet and Phoenix like to tease and flirt with each other a lot.
Don't mess up that pretty face, Phoenix. Hey, Phoenix, if you die, I call dibs on your jacket.
Oh, don't be like that. You know you also want my shoes.
And sometimes teasing can go a bit too far and even end up in fighting. I wonder if we'll get any more canon lore about what could have sparked this. And just as a reminder, not everything in the Battle Pass is canon to the story of Valorant, but it's still funny to see this sticker though. Next, we have this player card of Jet and Neon having a race. It's no secret that these two agents pride themselves on speed.
I know your tricks, Wind Girl. You're not faster than me. I'm faster than Sky's Wolves.
Save it, Jet. I'm not racing you. You'd only embarrass yourself. Get ready. I go fast.
In this player card, it looks like Jet is in the lead. I wonder if she has enough of a gap to close this race in first though. It really reminds me of those cartoons where the Superman and the Flash would race themselves too.
They brought Neon? Huh. She's fast. But can she fly? Nope.
Lastly, let's talk about level 50 player card, titled Chrysalis. This tier 50 card gave us hints into Clove's abilities and how it's related to butterflies. We already went over that when Fade first teased it though. Also, how many examples of people and things have you seen being defiant, which is the title of this episode? Just a little bit before the start of this act, Valorant's Twitter account teased Clove in this picture. It's most likely detailing the events I mentioned that Fade saw in her vision/nightmares.
I see someone I've never seen before. Bright lights starting around a dim room, silenced gunfire, and hundreds of butterflies.
After these events, Omen and Clove made their way to an handover spot where Deadlock met with them. Deadlock says that Omen didn't speak during the exchange, but she remains hopeful that all he needed was time to sort out his issues. Regardless, Deadlock described Clove as smart, intuitive, and fearless. ISO also states the Scions of Hourglass were still active, which lets us know that the VP's actions in the Reckoning cinematic had consequences.
Bad news, Brimstone. Seems like all we did by taking out the Hourglass operative was piss off people further up the chain. They're going to come looking for us. Let me know if you want me to run drills with the others, okay? We need to be ready.
Sage also talks to Brim about how Omen's disappearance has been affecting him and her, that she has plans on taking this situation into her own hands.
Brimstone, I want to discuss Omen. It's clear to me that he's on your mind. You seem so distracted in our briefings, and I assume he's the reason you're meeting with Cypher so often. You're concerned. I am too, especially with the way he left. You know, I've been trying to put myself in his shoes. Finally understanding more about his past and feeling a sense of shame that he is struggling to overcome. It's a terrible feeling, Brimstone. One that I think I understand because, well, I have felt it too. He and I are both burdened by past wrongs, which is why I think I can help. If I know his pain, maybe I can heal it. I'm going to find him, and I'm going to bring him back. I'll be in touch, I promise. Wish me luck.
The result of this meeting was more of the same, confirming that his trust in the VP as a whole dwindled a little bit. After the revelation that he was once an agent for the Scions of Hourglass tasked to kill Viper, Sage states that it might be best for him to be alone, so he can work and heal at his own pace. Cypher also stated that him and Clove were studying the journal that Omen left them, most likely the same journal that we saw in the teaser earlier. He also states that he'll be asking Harbor for help since it's kind of hard to decipher everything that's in this journal. As for Clove themselves, well, let's just say that sometimes they can be their own worst enemy.
Grand, boss already ignoring my calls. Oh, hello, Brimstone. No rush, but I was getting set up in my room. Lovely accommodation, by the way, and the door's stuck. No, like locked, but stuck. I tried prying it open and that didn't work, and I don't have anyone else's number yet. I know you're busy, but I'd prefer the option to leave, unless... Is this part of the onboarding? Am I being tested right now? Nothing gets past me, I can do this. Don't you fret.
Around this time, we got more insight into Clove, like their hobbies, what they like to search for, and how they choose to decorate their room. But when Clove isn't fighting against a door, they prove to be quite useful, as we hear through Brimstone's voicemail.
Hey, Brimstone! I've been helping Cypher with a journal, aye. The one Hourglass tried to steal. There were some bits in there he couldn't figure out. Something about a secret cavern or some such. And that got me thinking about some things those Hourglass numpties let slip when they hauled me aboard their wee little boat. You'd be amazed at what some people say around a dead body. Yapping on and on about bringing the journal back to its rightful place in the Elder Grotto. You see where I'm going with this? The journal's talking about an Hourglass base. A special one too. Sai's getting the ship's navigation logs. We'll suss it out. Just you wait.
Through both Cypher's and Clove's efforts, they were able to find the coordinates of Abyss, aka the Elder Grotto, as the Scions will describe it. Clove also states that Astra and Harbor were heading to Lotus to study energy signatures over there. And before we get into Act 3, I want to talk about Act 2's Battle Pass. One of the first cards we see is titled Hitless. It is very similar to what we saw in ISO Cinematic, but here we see Cypher, Omen, Sova, and ISO himself. The same 4 people who were in the Reckoning Cinematic and responsible for taking down Hourglass members. This is most likely someone else's phone who is tasked with finding and eliminating these Valorant Protocol members specifically. Next we have Gecko's ID badge, which confirms him to be Agent 22. When he joined the protocol, the amount of people who were active on it was just 21 because Agent 8 is still missing in action. But the devs mentioned that they will return when the time is right. Also, remember that player card of Jet and Neon racing each other in Act 1? Well, it seems that it was nothing but just friendly rivalry. The sending love spray shows both Jet and Neon's hands making a heart symbol, which I guess you can say there's no bad blood between the two. They just like being considered the fastest is all. And speaking of Neon and Jet, we see them in another player card titled Spike Sand card. And since I can't really see Neon's face, I don't know if she's impressed, dumbfounded, or both when looking at KJ's sand sculpture of a spike. Also, if you zoom in, you will see another person with what seems to be white hair playing in the water. I want to say that this is Jet, but I'm not 100% sure. What do you guys think? Regardless, I guess whoever was in charge of this battle pass really likes Neon because we see her and Gecko playing ball with Harbor and Reyna in the back cheering on their students. If you didn't know, Reyna is now tasked with training Neon, while Harbor is considered Gecko's coach. I find this really funny since it looks like she's about to put Wingman on a poster. Poor little guy, he doesn't stand a chance. Next, in these 3 player cards, we see agents enjoying themselves like Reyna and Astra at a spa, Cypher doing what he does best, which is snooping, and Viper making coffee, which is something I mentioned in her own lore video that she likes to do. Also, we can't forget about the fact that Omen likes to knit, which helps him focus and relax too. Lastly, we have the tier 50 card that teased the following map, Abyss. It looks like the person scaling down is Sage, and I'm guessing this was after the events of the Abyss cinematic trailer, which I broke down in another video that you're more than welcome to check out. For Act 3, I want to start off with the Battle Pass, where we see Harbor and his bike and a player card titled Short Detour. This looks like the same bike that we saw him use in the cinematic trailer and was unfortunately left behind. However, I'm sure with people like Brimstone and Yoru on the team who have motorcycles, Harbor will find a way to join them on their rides.
Brimstone, when we're done here, let's grab our bikes.
I like the way you think. We're overdue for a ride, aren't we?
This player card is titled Radiant Reaction. It isn't really related to the lore of Valorant, at least not yet, but it is a reference to this play that someone uploaded on Reddit.
Because once we have one mistake, we're all dead. What the hell?
It was too cool for me not to mention it, but we also get Clove's ID badge here, which came before Deadlock's ID badge, despite being a newer member to the protocol, by the way. It's like someone kind of forgot Deadlock existed since we still don't know what her last name is. But I do want to mention that Deadlock does get an ID in episode 9 though. Next we have an ISO spray reminding us that ISO loves his boba and music. The next 2 cards are related to Act 1, where Omen most likely interrogated a Scion's member. Definitely giving me more Batman vibes. And Chamber also looks impressed with the Outlaw. Maybe the devs are telling us that Chamber plus an Outlaw is a dangerous combination to use in game. Lastly, we have agents eating out, which I'm guessing these are Omega agents since Phoenix is wanted around the world for the Venice incident. Or maybe Cypher did a really good job at scrubbing his face from the world, so much so that people forgot. But let's get back to the main story of Valorant. In this act, Omen expresses himself and his mindset to Brimstone.
Commander, I continue to spend my time contemplating recent events. Our encounters with ISO, Hourglass, and now our newest recruit. The event with Viper, our natures, the way our paths have entangled. This must all mean something. There must be something meaningful at the end of this thread. I intend to keep pulling it.
This was the act where Cypher and Clove were able to decipher the journal and find the location of Abyss, with the help of KJ2, who states that there are massive power readings coming from the area. Since time is of the essence, the agents quickly drawed up a plan to raid the facility, with hopes that Omen would meet up with them there. Some of the agents also give their opinions on the Scions of Hourglass, and possibly hints at their motivation to keep working, despite Radiant Knight being revealed to the world.
Follow me here, I'm working the problem. Just wanted a sounding board, but your voicemail will do. Hourglass tried to kill me. Why? Logically, there's only one answer. My research. They wanted to prevent humanity from discovering Radiant Knight. So they send Omen to kill me, he fails, First Light happens, and everything changes. That all tracks. Hourglass has failed. But they keep working. They send operatives around the world to recover Radiant Knight artifacts. Why? What are they still hiding? There must be something, Brimstone. There has to be more, for Omen's sake. For mine. Call me back.
Brimstone, Astra and I are over at the Alpha Lotus site. Or should I say what's left of it? We wanted to come back and see if there was any pertinent information here now that we know a little about this Scions of Hourglass group. Suffice to say, while the Omega site is still bristling with Radiant Knight signatures, this place has been scrubbed clean. We've also been... Oh, yeah. One moment.
Brim, Harbor gave you the deets, Look, Hourglass kills scientists instead of kidnapping them. And they tried to leave no witnesses to that journal, huh? And now this, with the Nexus? This is about erasing information, keeping it from the public. That place the journal describes, it will show us how deep this goes. Of this, I am certain.
And thanks to a successful raid done by Omen, Clove, and ISO on the ground, and Sage close by, we got to learn more about the facility. Again, I made some videos, one on the Abyss trailer and of the map itself if you want to see more. TDLW, Abyss was a facility used to hold centuries of information on all things related to Radianite. This place also has a new type of Radianite that appears to be blue, a research facility that studies flora and fauna affected by Radianite, and a security unit used to hold people too. This revelation left many shocked in the protocol.
Is it true? Our history was filled with radiance? How long have the Scions committed this crime? No puedo creerlo, malditos! It is unforgivable! They erased us! This place is our legacy. It belongs to Radiance, and they stole it! I will see it returned, and we will destroy the Scions!
Millennia of radiant history stolen from the world and crammed into this cave. How did I not see the wrong in this?
Brimstone, I'm over at the Hourglass base and I can't believe what I'm seeing. I recognize some of these artifacts from jobs I did, but the scale. I had no idea how big Hourglass was on the world stage. Or still is. We should talk when I'm back.
Astra also details the magnitude of all of this. Deadlock also points out the security unit is world class.
Brimstone, it's Deadlock. This Hourglass facility is astonishing. The surface level security is all in place. 3-factor biometric entry. Dual encrypted transmission hardware. But you need to see the containment areas deeper in the facility. The materials here make Svalbard look almost amateur. I don't know what they were keeping here, but to warrant this many layers of security? It must have been something special. I'll bring back samples for further analysis.
At the end of the trailer, we got to see a hand belonging to Agent 26, aka Vice, as well as why the Scions were so cautious with her. But we'll save that for episode 9's recap. Let me know down below if I missed anything from episode 8 and what was your favorite parts of it. And don't forget to comment down below how many examples of people or things being defiant that you were able to find. Feel free to like and subscribe, stay safe, be a KDA warrior, and I'll see you later.